Well, hello, welcome to Hello Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic lives and minds of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Each week, I get the privilege to speak with founders and across the spectrum, the business spectrum, founders from different industries at various stages, from startups to mature businesses of all shapes and sizes. Our listeners get to hear the real, the raw, the unvarnished stories and viewpoints, getting incredible insights on what it takes to start and scale a business, to become a better founder, a better business owner, a better CEO, or really just a better business leader. Today on our show, we have Vickie Zambrano. She is the owner and founder of Curean restaurant right here in my hometown, Greenville, South Carolina. Welcome, Vickie. Welcome to Hello Chaos.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. I am excited. I told you, I was like, I've been to your restaurant a couple times. It is has become one of our favorites, like our little go-to place of mine and my girlfriends. And then I told you, like, the next day we met your mom at the at the Saturday market, and she is so proud of everything that you've done and what you've created. And it is a unique experience. But start us out. What inspired you to get into the entrepreneurial world? Is this your first restaurant?
First restaurant on my own,
On
yes.
your own.
Um,
So what inspired you to do this? Because it's a lot of people are like, oh, it's hard,
it's hard.
especially coming after the pandemic. I mean, what inspired you to do it?
I'll be honest. I always say this was not in the cards. Like I never was like when I grow up, and not that I'm grown up yet,
Me
but
neither. I'm the same way. Like I never thought I would ever start my own agency or media company. I mean, that was not even a thought.
yeah, no, it happened one day. It's just funny because I saw something on Instagram, and then you start sending it out to your friends, and you're like, this is really cool. Like Greenville should have something like this, and then your idiot friends are like, yeah, you should do it. And then
That's
you're
how
like,
we
no,
get suckered in.
yeah, like, no, this is cool. Like, Greenville should do it. We're just talking about this. They're like, no, like, I actually do think you should do this. Like, you know what
Yeah.
you're doing. Like, you've been in the industry long enough. You've got all the pieces of the puzzle. You just need to put it together. And then one thing after another, all of a sudden, I'm signing commercial leases and getting financing from the bank. And then it's just happening.
Wow. So did you work in restaurants? Like, are you from the hospitality industry?
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm Greek, so we all have
you're
restaurants.
like, it's in our blood.
It is. Still, I didn't think I would ever own my own restaurant. Yeah, I did restaurants when I started working as a kid at my grandpa's restaurant in the Palmetto on Lawrence Road. Uh,
Oh, really?
yeah, that was my
Ah,
grandpa's. So my family still runs that. And then at 14, I started working at a sushi restaurant, and then I've been in the industry ever since. I tried to leave twice, and I call it the
they pull you
outside
back
world.
in.
It's the outside world outside of hospitality. And I tried to leave twice, and I didn't really like it out there, so I came back.
That's
And
right.
I think I'm going to stay in this industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it happened.
So I'm curious now, what was the Instagram reel or the post that you were sharing and they were like, you need to do this? What was it? Was like a restaurant somewhere else or
Yeah, it wasn't even a full service restaurant. So today I have a full service restaurant, and when I
yeah.
started this like 2 years ago, that wasn't what I was doing. It was a quick service build your own charcuterie concept that I saw up in there's two locations in like DC and New York.
Okay.
Um really trendy. It was cool. It was in, downtown. So a lot of people walking by, you stop, you get a
Yeah.
little cute charcuterie box, and then you keep going. I don't even think they had like tables or anything, these little storefronts. So it was all like just you're really taking it to the park. And I was like, that's really cool. Like I think
Yeah.
people should have that, especially with our downtown and the parks and everything. I was like, I think that would do really well here. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so it started like that, something easy.
And then how did it explode?
I think it just started with, the interior designer. There wasn't a bar or anything in the space. And she was like, I think you need a bar. And I was like, that, no, maybe we'll do like a little wine lounge and like couches and soft seating and
Yeah.
make it comfy. And we'll add wine and charcuterie. And then it was like, well, let's add cocktails. And then she was like, I really just think you need a bar. And I was like, okay. The layout she showed me looked really nice. And then she just started showing me these things. And I was like, okay, this is really nice. And then I hired a chef at the time and put together I call it like a real food menu, not
Right.
just charcuterie and like pizzas and stuff. And it honestly just kept snowballing during that 1 year of construction.
Hmm.
Not that we were in construction for a year, but that 1 year we're building and we're finding locations and we're doing all
Right.
the things. It just kept growing, growing,
Were you
growing.
always in the locate? Because you're right near the park. Were you always in that location from the beginning and just kind of expanded on that?
Yeah, we were always there.
Okay.
But the first concept, we'd never even started with that. Our grand opening day opened as a full service Mediterranean restaurant.
Okay. Okay. And it's so pretty inside. It really
Yeah, it's
it
pretty.
feels like somebody's like lounge bar living room from home.
Mhm.
Just um, and it's really nice. So your boom and your explosion. Are you still loving it?
Yeah, I think I love it a little bit more every day now.
Yeah, yeah. So what have you discovered most about yourself um, during this process?
Um, I can handle a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
I think I actually don't think there's really been any, maybe like once or twice where I was like, "Oh shit, this is bad right now. Like I don't know what to do or something." And it was
Right.
stupid. It was the printer wasn't working one day. I remember it. I'm sitting on the floor with the printer and it won't print menus and I didn't have one menu printed for dinner that night and I was like, "There how do you open a restaurant with not one single menu?" I don't remember how we fixed the printer, but finally we fixed the printer. But that was like only the one time in like 16 months that we've been open that
That
I've
you
been
were like, oh, that. So has that been your biggest challenge,
the printer.
the printer, or were there other like construction or like permits or anything like that that was like, ooh, well, this is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, or because you came from the business, did you already, your family was like, you need to watch out for this and this and this.
I quickly learned to not listen to other people's advice.
What was one piece that you were like, yeah, no, that you went down using somebody's advice and it was wrong?
I don't think I ever did. I'm really
Oh, you never.
stubborn. So Greek and half
You're
half
like
Greek,
Greek.
half Ecuadorian. So we're like double stubborn. So I think a lot of the time somebody tells me to do something and I do the opposite. Um,
So you've had a lot of what is it? Not happy accidents. They've been like, you know,
it's all worked out well
it
so
all worked out well for you. What's been the
far.
most rewarding part?
Oh, there's so many little things. I mean, I'm in this phase right now where everyone kind of knows what they're doing and
Mm,
I mean, knock on wood, hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. We're going in a good pace right now and everyone knows what they're doing and the wheels just keep turning on the restaurant and I feel like we had all of the big like oh shit stuff last year. And
yeah,
I know big stuff it's still gonna happen, but I
right.
think we all know how to handle things really well now. So stepping back a little and seeing like, oh, we're doing great. The restaurant's doing great, teams are great. We're kind of expanding a little now. So
Mm.
that's been really fun, rewarding to look at like where we've made it so far.
What? How did you assemble your team?
Um Again, it was a lot of people like I knew.
Okay, just
Um,
in the industry, just who
yeah, in
were
the
when you kind of
industry,
told them the concept, they were like, "Oh, I wanna come."
a lot of people were like, "Whatever you need will help." And during like our opening phase, it was just so many of my like random friends doing things that they're like, "Oh, we'll come do this and this," and I had a friend that like just had a baby and she was on maternity leave and she's like, I can't do much, but I have to bring the baby if you need help. And I was like, okay. It was like opening day and I realized we opened December 15th.
Oh my goodness.
So
Right before the holidays. Yeah.
yeah, but I realized I had an empty Christmas tree in the corner of the restaurant. And I was like, this is perfect for Julie. She can decorate the Christmas tree. She can bring the baby with her. I
Oh,
think she'll be able to handle it. So I had a friend just come and decorate the Christmas tree for our opening day. It was just a lot of little things like that.
that all
Um,
came together.
yeah, but looking back, like that first week we opened, it was just a ton of friends and family that were like, we're just here to help. Like, what do you need? And like just
Right.
covering shifts just to help. And some of them still help around now and some were like, okay, you're good, I gotta go back to my restaurant or my job or something. But
Right.
it was a lot of people just coming out of everywhere just saying like, what do you need? I've got like 4 hours today, like what can I do?
That is amazing.
It was, yeah, it was really, that was also really rewarding to look back and
Yeah.
see like there was just such a big community.
So, have you had a breakthrough moment or, like a huge aha that you were like, oh my gosh, this is going to change the way that I do my business or run my restaurant?
Kind of. I made some internal staffing changes with
Mm.
some key employees kind of recently, and that changed things a lot more than I ever thought. But I know the whole restaurant feels it, all our staff, everyone's feeling it in a positive way, and
Yeah.
we're all looking a little bit more optimistic now. And
Did you remove somebody that was more toxic or
yeah,
to just or restructure so you put people in the right seats?
we took someone away, which led to everyone shifting around a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
everyone realizing, oh, what were we dealing with? And oh, look how much fun this could be,
Yeah.
and opportunities for training for new people and cross training and learning more. So it's been fun seeing all the changes after that
To see
also.
that shift. Did you know, like, did you, when that person was on board, um, did they shift over time and became toxic, or was it somebody that you were like, I knew within a few weeks, but I really needed the body? Like,
The shift was gradual, but then once you notice it, then you're like, oh no, we actually do need this body for a little bit until we can make some changes.
yeah, be
Yeah,
strategic about it.
yeah,
They
that's
always
one of the
say, I mean, that's the big advice of hire slowly and fire
fire
fast.
fast. Yeah, I say that
Uh,
all the time.
yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's harder than you know in practice, but yeah, that is um, you need to hire slowly and fire fast. Get them out. Toxicity is like a cancer, isn't it?
It is.
Um,
Yeah. But that's
um,
why I like the hire slowly, because sometimes we might be down
that's right.
a staff person somewhere and everyone is kind of like, don't just hire anyone. Like,
Right.
please don't just
We want to
hire
protect our
someone.
team and our culture. Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone's willing. They're like, we'll work a little extra for a few weeks until you can find like the right person. So I do like that everyone is on board with that. It's never just a like, no, I'm not working overtime. Like, just
Right.
hire someone. Like, I'm not doing it. It's all just kind of like a please don't just hire someone.
Right.
Like, we're all going to work a little bit more and let's just make sure we're like making the right hire, because we do have a really good culture in the restaurant.
Hey, founders, quick pause in the chaos for something that might just change the way you think about marketing. Quick question. Is your marketing actually working or just making noise? Bright marketing helps founders and CEOs stop guessing and start growing. They're not like most agencies. They don't push cookie cutter campaigns or chase trends. They start with curiosity, the kind that uncovers what's really holding your business back and builds a strategy that actually moves the needle. Because marketing is not a department. It's not an expense. It's a growth engine if you do it right. If your brand feels stuck, scattered, or misaligned, they can fix all that. They are offering a mini brand therapy workshop, a 60-day tune up. Only 5 slots are available. Send an email to hello@gobright.com now.com to grab one of these spots or to learn how their service packages work to help you get clarity, confidence, and real results. Send that email today and write curious in the subject line. Now back to the chaos.
And
Yeah. Is
we're all,
everybody from the hospitality industry? Has everyone worked at other restaurants before? So they know.
kind of.
Yeah. Because sometimes, like, people that haven't been in the environments
Yeah.
don't realize the effect of a toxic person.
Yeah.
And so
No,
they're more, yeah, break. We need a shift. We need a body for this shift. But then it's like, but people who have been there go, no, 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 no. We want to protect,
mm-hmm.
like, like in the entertainment business, we're like, protect the set, right? If
Yeah.
you got a good gel, good team, um, you want to, hold true to that. And that comes just from, experience,
Yeah.
in
I,
those worlds.
I
Uh,
think everyone is from either a restaurant background or an event background.
yeah.
So everyone
So
gets
they know.
hospitality, which is nice. But then also, it's nice that some of my people aren't just 100% restaurant people and they've done, planned weddings and
Yeah.
big events and stuff like that because
They're
that's
service people.
it's also
Which
really
we
cool.
I mean I run an agency and a media and the best book I think is hospitality is everybody's business. Everybody should run their business like it's like they're in the hospitality business.
Hmm.
And I've always said, like, I worked in restaurants and bars for 8 years. I put myself through college with that.
Yeah.
And I've always said, like, that is the best training ground to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you come out of working, a 6 hour shift and taking, running 4 or 5, 10 tops at the same time. And then, yeah, it's um, dealing
Eye
with
opening.
the kitchen between the bar and, all that. You can do just about work in any industry, do just about anything if you can master working and be a really good um, service person in a restaurant.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Um, do you think there was any myths? I mean, you came from entrepreneurs and restaurant owners, your family, but were there any myths or misperceptions that you had going into this that when you got in there, you were like, what the this they they said it was going to be, or did you already have all the, it's going to be hard, it's, you need to be ready for this. Did you have any myths going in that you're like, I want to debunk this right now?
I think I knew a lot walking in. I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. The one thing that stands out is there was one person that said, you realize your whole staff's gonna think you're a bitch. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna be like nice. Like, no one likes restaurant owners, like, or the
Mm,
manager. Like, you gotta like crack the whip. Like, you're not gonna be nice to people if you want them to listen to you. And I just kind of looked at that person and was
mm,
like, I don't believe that at all. And they told me this like during construction. So I was like, okay, whatever. And now I think about it like a lot because I'm like, I think our team is great. Like, I don't yell at people. Like, I don't
right,
have to be mean. We're all like very respectful of each other. So, maybe it's like a, hey, last night when you closed, you missed, that corner over there. Like, can you just make sure you hit it again? And
right,
like it gets added to the closing checklist, and then it gets done every night. So
right.
it's like little things like that, and I think it's I don't know. I think it's crazy looking back at that person in the conversation, and if that's how you want to run your business, that's totally fine.
Yeah. I
But
think
I
there's,
still
yeah, I think there's some leadership lessons there of, you know, do you want to lead as like an authoritarian and
right.
fear based, or lead through grace, lead through empathy and teamwork and respect, and you're right. I don't know if it's a generational thing
That might
or
be.
um yeah, cuz I know that's like how those were my bosses, were more of the authoritarian,
Yeah.
that, and it doesn't create a culture that anybody, really, I mean, it becomes this like fear based. and I don't know, like, I think I'm much older than you, but I'm a Gen Xer, but I think it, like, I think our generation, is we're mixed. Like we have some that have embraced this, um, lead through respect, lead through love, lead through grace. But then there's some torn of, but that's how my boss did it.
Right.
That's how I'm used to it. And I applaud the millennials and the Gen Z, or the generations coming in. I mean, millennials are, mid 30s, early 40s now. What? Yeah.
So,
But the fact that they came into the workforce kind of, and shaking up the industry, 15, 20 years ago, when they started in the, and going, you don't have to lead like this. Like, why are
mhm.
you talking to us like this? We're out of here.
I will say, going against the generational thought process is my grandpa. I remember he would always say about his team that if you take care of your people, they'll take
Yeah.
care of you. And I think of that all the time. Like, if like you're not nice to the people that are working in your business every day, why are they going to care like
Right.
the extra step about the business also?
Right. Well, and that's right. I kind of learned it as like the inverted pyramid of, um, a lot of people go, if you think of like a hierarchy in an organization, it's, the where you're at the top as the CEO, and everybody, you kind of bark orders down. And I was always, taught from how my dad led his organizations, how some of the best, I think, mentors that I really respected as CEOs looked at it more of inverted, of the CEO and leadership are really at the bottom, and where they're holding up the rest of the team, making sure that we serve them, give them the tools they need, the respect they need, the culture, the environment, make sure that they're safe, that they feel secure, that they feel, valued, because
Yeah.
then they do their best work.
Yeah. I will say that is one thing that I'm learning also, and I didn't know going into this, that a team means you're taking on so much more.
Yeah.
If someone's kid is sick or something, I don't see it as like, oh, so and so's out this week. Like, this is really annoying. It's more of like oh my God, like, are they okay? Like at the restaurant, we're
Right.
like, is everyone fine? Like, do y'all need something? Or, if someone gets in a car accident, we all feel it, and we're not. And this did happen. Someone got in a car accident coming into work on a busy Friday, and we were already short staffed. So we were more short staffed. And it was never a question of like, oh my God, like, are they not going to come in? Like, we're mad at them. It was more of like, oh shit, like, is
Oh
she
yeah.
okay? Like, she had her kid in the car. Like, this is really
How do
bad.
we rally? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing. And even just, when they come to you with like I'm having a bad day, like, X, Y, and Z is happening at home, and it's, not great stuff. And then you feel it the rest of the day too. So it's just little things like that. I'm always like, oh, how do we help them? Or, what do
Yeah.
they need and stuff like that. That was something I didn't expect walking into this one also. So
It
I
is,
always,
that is a good aha too of, yeah, I mean, that was a I started my company in 2013. I think after you start hiring, if your first employees, it's like, oh, I, we take it so much more personal and serious than I don't think other
yeah,
outsiders kind of think that.
they're
And
humans too.
one of the best, I don't know if it was advice or he was on the podcast. He's actually here in Greenville. His name is John Barnes. He runs a wealth management group that helps small businesses like manage, and he says that he coaches a lot of new CEOs, new business owners. And it was he framed it in such a beautiful way, similar to how you're framing it, of, you have 20 people on your team, but you're actually feeding, you know, that's 40 to 60 people. If they're married and they've got two kids,
Kids. Mhm.
then you're taking care of 60 people,
Oh yeah.
because the experience that the person that works for you for your company, and they stay with you for 10 years, you're helping them, or 20 years or whatever, you're helping them with putting, raising their own family,
Yep.
and letting them go on vacations, and building, a stronger family unit. Like, you're affecting a lot more people than
100%.
just the 10 people you have on your staff, or the 20 people, or even like if you're 2,000 people in your company, you really look at it as like, as a business owner, you've got to have that mindset of you're really cultivating and nurturing way more people than you ever realize.
Yeah.
um,
And I don't
and so
think
your
any,
decisions that you make as an owner impact
oh,
those
yeah.
people. So yeah, it was, so shout out to John Barnes, because I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that is, you need to be shouting that from the rooftop.
Yeah, and I don't think people talk about that a lot, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, no, it's very apparent when, I'm running payrolls and stuff and I'm making sure that, like as a new business, you can make
Right.
your payroll because it's not just, your 10, 20, whoever people are on payroll, then it's like their children, are probably relying on this also for
Right.
lunch and spouses. And I have a lot of people that are the breadwinner in their family and they're working in the restaurants. So it's another thing too. It's like, let's make sure we're not making bad decisions with the business. So the business is okay for all of your staff
Yeah.
because then they've got families that they're raising.
That's right. We're just not making, we, it's not that insular decision making, because we whatever we do impacts a lot more people than
Mhm.
we think. Um, if you had to hit rewind on anything, would you do anything differently?
I don't think so. Yeah, made mistakes and we fixed them and things have happened, but I always think everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah,
probably a lot of those were learning moments for me. And I don't think you're not supposed to regret anything because at
that's
that
right.
point, that's what you thought was the best thing to do. So
Path forward.
no, I don't think I'd go back and do anything differently. However, I have a list of things I won't do when I
Ah.
open the next restaurant.
Are you going to expand? Is that like a future
Yeah, it won't be another
plan?
Curean. It's another restaurant concept I have. And then we've got a few other concepts. So yeah, no, this is just the first. So
Yeah.
there's
So what are like top three things that you're like, I will not do that again?
oh, okay, you're gonna laugh, but the brand of tables that I bought at the restaurant, I will never buy those again because if you look at them wrong, they will chip. Yep, they will chip. Also, I won't get soft seating like I have right now because
Oh,
I'll do soft seating.
for cleanability.
Yes, I'll do something where it doesn't have all the little grooves and the nicks and the crannies because
Or do leather or something, so it's like, wipe that out.
something so I'm not running my finger through all the cushions like 3 times every night, finding crumbs in them. So
Uh,
I already know we're not doing that kind of furniture.
what's another one?
Um,
That's a good
hmm,
one. That's
those
something
two.
I would do too. Of like, I laugh. I think I've told Chandler this. Is he's a newlywed now, got married a week ago, but we were talking about furniture. It's like, because I have 4 kids, and they're 13 to 24 now, but like I don't buy um, cushion couches. I have to have a tight back, and I'm a one cushion sofa
Oh,
because of that reason of finding shit in between the
yeah,
cushions, or just like the pillows and all, like the just like, no, it looks neater. I can clean it easier.
yeah,
Tight backs only.
yeah. So I've learned that. Third thing I would say would the espresso machine that I have is a residential one
Oh,
because where it's at, there's no plumbing in it in the wall to run a commercial one. And my dad, who is thankfully retired now, is fixing the machine like once a week.
oh.
Thankfully, he's also an engineer, so he learned how to pull the entire thing apart, fix like
Oh,
whatever computer inside is off, put it all back together, and do it like under 24 hours because we
oh,
need it again at 5 o'clock to open the restaurant.
so you're
So
like commercial use only.
yeah, we need another espresso machine.
Oh, I'm excited. Is the your next concept, is that like in the next, you know, 12 to, or is this like within the next 3 years?
It's probably more within the next 3 years. I think
Okay.
I need to focus at least another full year on Curean and then I'm not letting myself think too much about the next concept, even though I've
Yeah.
got it and I've already got all the people lined up for it. But I'm not allowing myself yet because I do think a new business probably needs its leader 2 to 3 years to make sure
Yeah.
it's going
No, that's
smooth.
smart. That's smart. Um, well, what do you think our listeners would be most surprised to find out about you? It's not something that's on your LinkedIn, your Instagram or anything. Um, not on your resume, but what's something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
I'm actually kind of really introverted. Being in this industry though, you're in front of a lot of people, you're
Mm,
talking a lot, you've got hundreds of people walking into your business all the time, but I don't like all the it's a lot for me. That's why you'll find me in the kitchen a lot of the time. I schedule myself kitchen shifts so I'm not having to be talking all the time because
right.
I'm actually kind of introverted. My
Yeah.
days off, if I don't, I'll go out to eat at a restaurant and then I come home and my dog's sitting right next to me right here on the couch and we just hang like at home or we'll do a day trip, just me and my dog somewhere. But kind of introverted, which is weird
Yeah.
being in this industry.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, I'm an introvert. I call myself now a learned. We heard this from another founder because I've talked to hundreds, if not almost a little over 1,000, like personally founders. And we find that the majority are introverts, and but
Surprising.
we surprising, but we have to learn to network. I mean, this was like doing this podcast has been like my therapy to be a learned extrovert. Because you're right, I'm like I have to like talk myself into going to a network event. I love speaking on stages, but it's me kind of educating and informing. But to then go into the crowd and network,
Yeah,
ugh, not my
I
thing.
100% agree.
Um, and it completely drains me. Then I have to like close myself off
Yeah,
for
no,
a
I get
day. But yeah, it is. But isn't that interesting? I think we find that there's so many more innovators and creatives and business owners and founders that it's surprisingly. I think it surprises a lot of people that we are more introverted than we are extroverted.
I say that, and I do have ADHD, and I say those are probably like superpowers for being a leader
Absolutely. Yeah,
because I don't. Yeah, you can bounce around and do all kinds of things, and that's what you do in a business.
that's
Typically,
right.
you don't know what your day is going to look like because who knows what the business needs.
That's
But I
right.
call those like superpowers of running a business.
That's right. I totally agree. Absolutely. Um, and you seem pretty chill and relaxed, like you could just, handle just about anything. But how do you deal with stress and big challenges? Like, what do you do to, you know, in your free time, or do you have like any rituals or, mental disciplines to kind of prepare yourself or anything like that you've had to embrace?
I think I can sense when things are going to be chaotic now. Like I know what the restaurant feels like and I've
Mm,
got this little sixth sense and I know I'm like tonight's going to be chaos. Like I just know it.
yeah.
Um so I think I can prepare myself a little bit and I always know like okay, who are we going to move around or am I going to call more people in or I go into like the strategy little session to figure out how we're going to get through it. And then I don't really need a decompression anymore because I think this is industry is just chaotic like that is.
Yeah.
So it just comes in just waves and you get hit by one and you make it through and then you're just gonna get hit by another one. Um but my dog and I will do restaurants close on Tuesdays, so we can normally I say run away out of Greenville for the day. So like
Where do you go?
well, yesterday we were in Asheville.
Nice.
We just got in the car and just started going, and Asheville's super dog friendly. So Charlie came with me everywhere. We went shopping, went to some restaurants, we hung out, we had fun. But getting out of Greenville does help me.
Yeah, just to release, um, reset, whatever, re-energize,
Yeah,
recharge.
yeah.
And I know I talked, about your mom and earlier, but is she your biggest cheerleader, or do you have another like who's your biggest cheerleader in your life?
I mean, I think it's my team, honestly. They're
Hmm.
so supportive of everything, and they're the ones that are like, Vickie, you haven't like had time off. Like I walked
Good.
into the restaurant on Sunday night, and my bartender, who's been with me since day one, she literally kicked me out. She's like, "No, you're gonna go. You're going to eat dinner." I went to Gianna. It's one of my favorite restaurants. Love them.
Yes.
And she kicked me out of the restaurant. And she was like, "You've been here 2 months. Just go." Yeah. So they do.
uh,
They take care of me.
who is do who gave you like the best advice? Like a Carl or any other kind of restaurateurs in Greenville, or was it really coming from your family?
I think it goes back to the I'm really stubborn. So if anyone told me anything, I
You're
did the
just like,
opposite.
I am not gonna listen.
It's also an ADD trait. So
That's
I've
right.
learned.
uh, so okay, if I come in, next spring, a year from now, what would we be celebrating? What would we be toasting? Success.
Hmm.
What would be a win that we would be celebrating for?
Next spring we'd be 2.5 years open, which is really big.
Hmm.
We'll probably have our event leg a little bit more kicked off because it's
Okay.
very much in the beginning stages right now. So that'd be really fun. We're gonna do a little swapping around of some things in the restaurant and have another little concept coming
Good.
inside the
Oh,
restaurant.
inside the
So
restaurant, even.
yeah, I guess
Okay.
we're cheersing to a lot of just growth and change, and we're just growing up. I always say the restaurant's in like this toddler stages right
Yeah.
now. So maybe we'll be like in the teenage stages next
By
year. It
then, yeah, because it goes fast, doesn't it?
does go fast.
Um, well, that's exciting. Yeah. Talk. What is the event arm?
So we've built this cute little charcuterie cart that is it's got
Nice.
wheels and we can roll it to events, and it's got a whole little charcuterie bar where you can still build your own little box, and we're going to be taking that to some festivals this year, and you'll be able to
Nice.
rent it for like a wedding or a party or anything like that. We're revving up our catering a good bit. We did some catering last year, but we're getting more caterings in this year. And
Okay.
then I think we might add on some like third party, I mean, like external event
Right.
planning services also. We're working on something for next month that's not in the restaurant. So that's a little
Well,
different for me. I used to do it. I have an event background also. But I haven't been able to do anything like that in a few years. We've had it on the back burner with the restaurant. So we're getting out and about a little bit.
yeah, kind of spreading your wings a little bit. You guys crawled, now you're walking. Now it's time to like maybe start running a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Um, okay, so if you had to sum up your entrepreneurial journey in one word, what would that word be?
Okay, so the first thing that came to mind when you mentioned this in the beginning, and I think it's still here. It's not, I mean, it's not technically one word, but
Yeah.
oh shit just pops into my head. And I haven't, nothing else has come into my head since. So I'm going with that.
That is very appropriate, I think. Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
the time I'm like, oh shit, what did we get
What do
ourselves
we what
into?
do we
I have this theory where I say yes to everything and then we'll figure it out. So
Yeah.
I just say yes to
And you're like,
things.
yeah. Oh shit. Well, we'll just do
Yeah,
it.
and I'll realize it's that month where I promised that huge thing, and I'm like, shit, let's figure that one
I think
out.
that's the best word so far.
So,
All right. So if you had to next chapter in your journey, what word describes that chapter?
the first word that came into my mind, and it's still sticking into my mind, is growth.
Growth. Yeah.
Yeah, this is still just the beginning for the restaurant and for all the other concepts and ideas I
Get your
have.
wings.
It's
Yeah.
just the beginning. So we're doing great, but I know this is just the beginning.
Yeah. That's awesome. Fly, Vickie, fly. um, so if you had to give like the Vickie advice to other uh, entrepreneurs, somebody that wants to open up a restaurant or whatever business they want to open up, what would be Vickie's advice?
I always say Do it. It's going to be hard work. You'll figure it out on the way, but make sure you have a really good support system around you, and you've got that network for the people that something comes up and you just know who you're going to call, and they're going to drop everything and they're going to come help. But you do the same for them. It's
got to be reciprocal.
You do the same, but just make sure you've got that community, because if you don't, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna get like it's way too hard, especially this industry, to try and do it by yourself. You've got to have that network. But I say do it. Yeah, it's scary. Everything's scary.
Everything is scary.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably bad advice, but the worst that could happen is maybe you file bankruptcy. But we'll figure that one out when you get there. Bad advice.
It happens. Yeah, other people have recovered from that. So
I say just do it, and you're gonna work. You'll surprise yourself at how hard you work and how creative you get and how much you can push yourself, and things will be successful if you just trust in yourself and just do it. But it's hard work.
Yeah. I love that advice too. I mean, not just do it, but have your community, have a support system. And it's amazing when the community itself of who shows up for you is also very revealing of who shows up and who doesn't show up.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. I've seen my community kind of evolve of, as we call it, new level, new devil, as you start scaling and getting into other, the circles. You would, some it's like you're expanding your circles, but also you're shifting your circles of, okay, that person doesn't want to show up for me anymore. And then, do I need to show up? But, it's always like my mindset is, but I always still need to be there when I need to be there for people. But that's been a lessons learned for me, as the power of community and having a support system. Yeah. Unbelievable. Vickie, I love your story, and I'm so excited for your journey. Before we go, how do you want people to connect with you, reach out to you, learn more about you, support you in any way?
Follow us on Instagram. We always like followers. That helps. You can email. There's emails on the website that you can get me at, or I'm very often at the restaurant when we're open. So you can come see us also.
And it's Curean GVL. I think it's the Instagram handle, right?
Yep. That's Instagram handle. We're on Main Street on the West End, right next to On the Rocks. Cute little building tucked behind.
Perfect location. Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. This was fantastic conversation. I loved it. And for everyone listening or watching us today, thank you for joining us. This podcast is available on all your podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos. Give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Share this great content and help us build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for work in progress, because that's what we all are. Orange Whip is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We're in 3 South Carolina cities today, looking to expand to other cities in the coming year. We've designed hyperlocal media platforms that inform, inspire, and be the independent connective tissue between founders and their local entrepreneurial ecosystem. We've really done all the hard work for founders, so they only need to go to one trusted source to find all the local information they need. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor us, send us an email to hello@orangewhip.com. Thank you for tuning in to Hello Chaos. It is where AHA meets oh shit, and we will see you again next week.